Hello. Well, welcome back to your favorite show, what we call the Talk Shop. This is the #1 MN show for mind setting, man. If when we're talking about mind setting, this is the show. But let me not start now. But all I want to say now, as you always know, I say, is that this is a platform where we tell the truth and let the chips fall where they may. And I always say that the truth crashed to earth shall rise again. We knew you. And then to all the apostles of Jandam, trust me, we are sick and tired. We have had it up to here with the lies. So we have promised you, it's not a threat to, we have promised you that we will suffocate your Jandam with the truth. It's a nice promise. I don't threaten, I just promise. And finally, what time is it? And the answer is, it's nation time, man, it's nation time. Folks, let me tell you something that I am very, very, very proud of. My team and me, we are very, very proud. Do you know why? Because this platform has turned out to be the eminent show that is really aggressively fighting for a mindset change. You know, I've said it time and time again on this show that I am happy that the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, says he wants to reset Ghana.
We shall reset our dear nation, Ghana.
And for me, resetting means the mindset will change. Our attitudes will change. That's how we can reset this country. And this country needs resetting so badly. So I said it right from the beginning that as much as I can, anything that I can do to support this country reset, I will do it. Because we do need the resetting. But again, I was bragging about this platform being the platform for resetting. If you want to think resetting, anything you want to do, please make sure that you tune into TS. All right? Now, I'm going to take a short announcement and then we'll come back. This Sunday, that's just 2 days away from now, is the 14th of September. Please, I'm having a solid, delectable buffet luncheon at Cactus Creek. Those of you who have not been to Cactus Creek, I wonder why. Look, do you know something? Many people say that when they die, they want to go to heaven. And all I'm saying is that before you die, come to Cactus. I'll show you how heaven looks like. Come to a Cactus, and then you say, oh, so heaven looks like this. No, it's a great place, and I'm having a buffet on Sunday, and I want you all to come. I'm inviting this musician. He will look at your face, you give him your name, and all of a sudden he will make a melody with your name. It's going to be fun. So Sunday the 14th at 1 p.m., please make sure you are at Cactus Creek. I'll hang out with you. We'll have a lot of things to talk about and do. Anyway, now let the show move on. Folks, I finally, not I, but all of Ghana finally had the chance to listen to the president with his first media encounter since he's been president. And we all watched it. I must say, I was really impressed with the level of questions. They were very mature questions. It was not, flimsy questions. They were all deep. They all meant something. So for one thing, let me say, take off my hat to all the journalists that were there. Show some love to yourselves, man. You asked the president some very intelligent questions, and I was very proud of that. And having said that too, let me also congratulate the president. I think he took time and he answered all the questions, and he spent time to make sure that he was communicating. He did. So to both you, the journalists out there who went to ask questions, and to the president who answered the questions so intelligently and so on point, I say thank you to all of you, man. Show some love to yourself. Now today, all I want to talk about today is some of the things that he talked about and why it supports what we do here. Or let me say, maybe what we do here supports what he's doing. He talked about certain things that I was like, wow. I'm bragging, you know. See, I thought my man listened to my show. If he didn't listen to my show there, then we vibe on the same length. Because there's the whole commitment to nation building. So we are vibing on a certain level. Some parts I was like, wow, this is exactly what I said. You know, let me start with, when I was talking about the galamsey, and I made a point and I said, I don't think that there's going to be any party who will take over the government of Ghana who will be able to solve galamsey. I said it here, didn't I? Do you know why, whether it's NPP or NDC or whatever the party, they are having a problem solving galamsey? And let me tell you right now, I don't think any party has that power to solve galamsey. And I'll explain to you very, very soon. Folks, you know, before artisanal mining was an integral part of us. We're doing it, we're profiting from it. And even the country was named Gold Coast because of the activities of artisanal mining. You know. Now, and I'll tell you something in a few minutes' time, now it has metamorphosized into galamsey, with which now the country is ready to fight it. And politicians are made to promise what they can do to fight it. You know, I was looking at things and reading things, and I said, okay, this is our first misunderstanding. Because we do not understand the problem. The solution has misfired a bit. Because if you look at it very carefully, the fight should not be, we are fighting against galamsey. We'll bring guns, we'll shoot on sight. We are fighting against galamsey. No, the narrative is wrong. The narrative is wrong. And you know why it's wrong? Because that narrative have come from the big guns who have eventually moved into Ghana and who are controlling our mining. They are giving us the narrative. You understand me very soon. That narrative has come from the big guns, the big mining companies here, there. They have developed the narrative essentially. You should watch these small galamsey people. They are destroying your waters and they are doing this and they are doing that. And yes, they are. And I've done enough studies, so I'll come to that too, again, very soon. But yes, they are. You know? And I'll be explaining why they are. But I'm saying the narrative, because the narrative and where it is coming from, it is seen as these people are the ones who are disturbing our flow. Let us stop them. It's a fight. It's a fight against galamsey. However, folks, the whole narrative can be rephrased. And instead of saying, say, we are fighting against galamsey, let us all come together as one people and say, we are protecting our environment. We are protecting our rivers. We are protecting our forest. We are protecting it. You know, when you frame it in this narrative, then everybody should get on board. You get on board not to fight galamsey or to fight anything. You get on board because we have a nation to build. You get on board because we have an environment to protect. You get on board because we have forests to keep. So I'm saying, let's shift the narrative a little bit. And we haven't shifted the narrative because where the narrative have come from has presented the whole thing to us as something we should fight against. The fact is this: the fight against galamsey, the narrative must change. Let us rather say we are protecting our river bodies. We are protecting our forest. And then the regulation should also include, nobody can just get up and say, I'm a miner, and go and destroy rivers and waters and me a miner. To hell with you. What did you study mining? And what I said was this, that for me, what bothers me is that the whole framework should be changed, you know, because we always say that we are fighting illegal mining, we are fighting galamsey. And I ask this question, what is the right way to do it? We know the wrong way, and we say we want to legitimize it and make it the correct way. I mean, so what is the correct way? Why don't the miners know the correct way? That's what I said when we're having the, you know. I know brilliant Ghanaians, man. Samuel Owusu, I think he's in the US now. And others who would have come, maybe even do a documentary and show all those people who have registered to go and do small-scale mining that this is how it is done. And as part of the regulatory framework, you tell them you cannot go into any forest and cut down trees, you can't do this, you can't do that. This is how it is done. Nobody was told how it was done. Nobody knows anything. All they know is that if I go into this river, Namisai River, I will get some gold here, there. The gold is everywhere. That's why we call it the Gold Coast. People have been known to go to farms in the Boss area, pay something small for the farmer and say, cut down all your cocoa because you're going to mine gold. Pay them something small, and there's gold there. The gold is, that's why we are called the Gold Coast. But until we step up the game and introduce nice regulation that will guide the people, the fight ain't kusifi. If we had brought proper regulation for the miners to understand that this is how you do it. You can go and pull all these miners who are out there killing people, destroying our waters, and ask them, they'll tell you, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. Who has come to explain that this is wrong? And so they do it and do it properly, because the livelihood thing I'm talking about is not something you can joke with, folks. I even went ahead to say that we should actually have, you know how we have Chartered Accountants Association, we have the Medical Association of Doctors. I said we should have a Chartered Miners Association, you know, and they should actually study and know how to do mining the right way. We should have a Chartered Miners Association. Chartered. It says we should have an association of chartered miners and environmental protection together. Think about it. Think about it. So that before you are giving any concession to mine, you must have had some training and have become a member of this Chartered Association for Miners and Environmental Protection. Meaning, say, you know how to do things. And when you go and destroy some river or something, just like when a doctor misbehaves, they can take their license. They can take your license too. But this free-for-all thing is not working for Ghana. I actually mentioned Australia. I said this is done in Australia, didn't I? Let us get regulation that will show Ghanaians how to do it. There's community mining in Australia, in South Africa. Let them go and study how you preserve the water, how you preserve the forest. There is a way. Show Ghanaians the right way. Show the miners the right way. And when the president was speaking, I heard him sort of like touch on the same thing in the same way regarding the right way to do things. And I'm happy he said that we have sent some people to Australia to learn how to do it, or something like that is happening.
And so as I speak, we are organizing a trip for the Small Scale Miners Association to Australia. Australia has given us an invitation to bring them to come and see how small scale mining is done without destroying the environment. And so that's something we're going to take an advantage of. And the Gold Board is leading, and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources are leading that charge. Only recently, our Minister for Lands and Natural Resources came back from Australia. And so we need to train these small-scale miners. The gold is a blessing that God gave us. It's a natural resource that God gave us to make life better for our people. It's just that the way and manner in which we are going about it is causing distraction to the environment.
I'm happy because it's exactly what I said, that teach them the right way. And the reason I am so, worked up on this is that long before the Newmonts and the Goldfields and one came to Ghana, we were mining. But it was called artisanal mining. Artisanal mining, that was mining on a very, 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 very low scale mining. Artisanal, It's only after when all the big guns came in and all of a sudden artisanal mining changed to illegal mining. Let me tell you for a fact, folks, way before Nanado was born, there was galamsey in Ghana. And if it was on before Nanado, then obviously it was on before Mahama. There was galamsey in Ghana. But you know something? At that time, it wasn't called galamsey. It was known as artisanal miners. And here's the thing, folks. Artisanal miners have existed and worked in this country for centuries. If you go into history, they say 15th century, there along, Ashantis were trading in gold. Where was this coming from? I want you to understand something. Galamsey is not something that just came on after NDC or MPP came on. No. Galamsey is not something that just shot up after independence. No, I want to get your mind to understand something. How did this country become known as the Gold Coast? Not a recent event. Galamsey has been part of Ghana as artisanal mining for the longest time. And it took 3 Ghanaians to set up the biggest gold field, maybe in Ghana or close to the world. 3 Fantis. Before, artisanal mining was an integral part of us. We're doing it, we're profiting from it. And even the country was named Gold Coast because of the activities of artisanal mining. And it bothers me that when people get involved in mining, it is termed illegal, and then we have to go after them with guns and everything, all because they have not been taught the right way. But if we're going to teach them the right way, then let's teach them the right way. And if they don't learn the right way and they're still doing the wrong way, then please go after them. Go after them, because if they are not doing how people are mining in Australia, they are not destroying their water bodies. They are protecting them. So I say in Ghana, we should change the narrative. Instead of we are fighting galamsey, let's talk about we are protecting our environment. Our environment consists of our forests, our rivers, our greenery, our mountains, everything. So let's say we are protecting it and fight as if we want to protect our environment rather than turn it around and say we are fighting galamsey and we're shooting them, everything. No, please. And I said it here. I say there's no government or Bambia that will take over government that will say have come and by the time I finish, galamsey will be stopped. I told you. I said the people that depend on galamsey for a living is in excess of 1 million. Do you know why, whether it's MPP or NDC or whatever the party, they are having a problem solving galamsey? And let me tell you right now, I don't think any party has that power to solve galamsey. And I'll explain to you very, very soon. Folks, let me tell you something. I have been doing some studies into what this whole galamsey thing is. And I'm telling you this for a fact, that galamsey has become a livelihood for people. When I say livelihood for people, do you know what I mean? People depend on galamsey to live. People depend on galamsey for a living. We are talking about people's livelihoods. So now check this out, man. When I say people's livelihoods, how many people am I talking about? Somebody else say, na KSM, nipa here, na waka. How many people? Is it 10,000? No. Is it 20,000? No. Okay. 50,000? No. You mean more people depend on galamsey, more than 50,000 people? I say, yeah, go up. Okay, it's 100,000. No. Folks, I don't want to go on and on and on, but the fact is this. Sadly, whether we want it or not, whether we know it or not, the people who depend, whose livelihood depend on galamsey is in the estimates of 1 million plus. Let me catch them all. I think even the president went high, said 4 million.
I never expected, or I never deluded myself that the fight against illegal gold mining or galamsey was going to be an event. I mean, definitely, there's no magic wand. The decay has eaten so much over the last 8 years that it's going to take a lot of work to be able to overcome it. And I didn't expect that in 18 months we would declare victory in the fight. As the livelihoods of about 4 million Ghanaians is on small-scale mining. And so it's going to be a process. It's not going to be an event. But we will not give up. We have a determination to get on top of it.
You know, so it will be very, very difficult for anybody to come into power and say, all you 4 million people know I'm throwing out of work, when there is no employment. But you're going to remove. So it's a very complex situation. I don't support galamsey. Please don't get me wrong. I hate it that we are destroying our waters. It is killing us. And the future doesn't look good if we don't change now. It doesn't. How do you destroy your water? What intelligent human being will destroy their water, poison their water, and then make soup with that same water, and bath with that same water, and drink that same water after they poison it? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's very, very idiotic. So please, let nobody say I'm supporting galamsey. Never. I'm saying let us step it up. Let us train our local people who are getting involved in small-scale mining to understand the way it is done. They say they have gone to Australia. Show them documentaries. This is how it is done. This is how you save your water. These are the process you go through to do the gold mining, but do it without killing your own people. That's my position. Okay, so anyway, this was just a little bit of bragging rights, because I was saying when I was looking at that, I've sort of made some similar suggestions to that effect. And finally, on oral, you know, I think the last show I did, I said, oral Operation Recover All the Loot is sort of turning into like Operation Reward the Looters, you know. So I'm very, very happy that he addressed it, and he mentioned it. He said it was still very, very, very much in the pipeline. It was still something that they were working on.
My friends, I understand that public accountability and the recovery of looted state resources are at the top of your expectations from my government. And let me assure you, my fellow citizens, that we've not wavered in our commitment for even a moment. Neither have we been complacent. What you are witnessing is not inaction. It is our steadfast adherence to due diligence, due process, and fairness in the pursuit of justice. Yes, our insistence on doing things the right way may afford those who have looted this country some temporary relief, but let me be clear, it will not grant them permanent escape. Across multiple fronts, active pursuits and prosecutions are well underway under the Operation Recover All the Loot. Over 200 cases are under active investigation, with about 80 people interrogated so far. Several prosecutions have begun, progressing steadily and remaining firmly on course.
And so I'm not saying he listened to me before he did it. He is the president of this country, and oral is one of his biggest promises. So needless to say, the fact that he's saying it, I'll be crazy to say, oh, me crime kind or can't be. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I'm glad that the issues we raised regarding how to move this country forward were directly in his speech as well. So I raised many questions. For example, I think I said here that I don't feel the oral. I don't feel the need to grab people and have them dealt with. You know, I actually mentioned Wontumi's name, and I said the man is so free now. Cried. He's even thinking of running for chairmanship of the party. The famous or infamous Wontumi that was named and shamed has even the audacity that, oh, don't worry, me will be contesting for the chairmanship of a political party.
I'm a million people need you. I am Munti, and I'm a national chairman. I am Munti, and I'm a national chairman.
Really? So the people have the right to ask, now, wasn't this man that was named and shamed, was that a lie? Was that a ploy to bring some people out there and rile up people, the Ghanaians, that these people are doing us harm, and we will come and we will make sure that we do the right thing? All of a sudden, nobody really sees. For me, I don't know. But he actually answered and actually mentioned by name. I think he mentioned Wontumi's name. He did.
Additionally, charges have been drafted and are ready for filing in the case of Republic versus Wontumi and Akunta Mining. The Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, is finalizing its report with respect to Exim Bank transactions.
I like. and also, you know, I did a whole thing based on what his General Secretary Fifi Kwete has said.
And Attorney General, I'm sure the pressure is mounting. We at the level of the party are picking the signals. And the signals we are picking is this: that many among us, in spite of the fact that please and the pressure coming from the public that the things have to be done properly, punishment must be exacted, and things have to be done, some among us are busy trying to cut deals with people who are supposed to be prosecuted. Some among us are trying to cut deals. Some are becoming conduits through whom pressure is being brought to bear on people who are supposed to do what is right. I'm not mentioning names. A time may come where we may have to. A word to the wise. Some know themselves, those who are. We are hearing your names. Think again. Because this victory was achieved largely because the people of Ghana wanted the right things done. Not for deals to be cut. For them to say, okay, now that we are on the other side, we cut deals so that tomorrow you also can get a deal cut. No, it won't happen.
You know, so as for me, what I was saying, I said, if what Fifi has said is true, then there's trouble. But I'm begging the head of state, Excellency John Dramani Mahama, if this is true, then please crack what they call the whip. If it is true, and if it's not true too, I don't know why Fifi Kwete will just really blurt this out unless he knows the truth. He's standing on something. Fifi, name and shame. That's the rule. That's the name of the agenda. Name and shame, Fifi Kwete. If you know of people in the NDC who are sort of cutting deals to reward the looters, please name and shame them, because we can't take this thing for a joke anymore. Fortunately for all of us, Fifi was there in the audience as he was talking, and he came up and gave the answers to the effect that things are still on the roll, you know.
I would have very conveniently said the General Secretary himself is here, and so I'll call him to present his evidence to the public. But I can assure you that there's no way anybody can interfere. I cannot be in people's mind to stop them from attempting to interfere, but I am responsible for making sure that that interference comes to naught. And so I closely monitor. I hold regular meetings with the Attorney General. He briefs me on the status of investigations. And so I'm confident that, you know, the cases will go ahead based on their merits and that nobody would have the opportunity to interfere. If anybody goes lobbying people or paying people to interfere, they probably are just throwing away their resources. All cases will be investigated and come to their logical end. If people are exonerated in the courts, I mean, that's what justice is all about. We will do our part, and we're being painstaking in preparing the dockets, and that's why people are complaining that it's a bit slow. But you don't want to hurriedly take a docket to courts and have it thrown out on technicality. And that's why you need to make sure that by the time a docket is prepared and prosecution starts, you have a watertight case that will ensure that you get a conviction. And so that's the process that we're going through.
All we can do is we are watching. You know, there was this report that some excavators were being carted away at night, you know. And when I saw the report, I said, really? You know, and then it was linked to the fact that the airport was now running on a 24-hour cycle, so the port works at night. So it was like, the thinking was like, is it because the port works at night, so all the excavators are being carted away at night? So is that a 24-hour job thing? 24-hour economy is to make sure that we can do illegal things at night? There again, I asked that question, and then also it was in the reply that he gave. He stated exactly what had happened and how all those ports were taking, all those excavators were taking space at the port. So they needed to be moved to wherever safer grounds.
With regards to excavators, we're enforcing the law that you must get the permits before the excavator is put on a ship. That is what the law has been, but it was not followed. And so they let the excavator land before they come and ask the Ministry of Transport for a permit. And so we've informed all the dealers that you cannot load an excavator onto a ship until you have gotten a permit. In the meantime, a lot of excavators have arrived at the port. And recently, somebody said they were being released at midnight to their owners and things. That's not true. What happens was there were so many that they had occupied a huge area of the port and congested the port. And so we found the land near Shy Hills, near the military installation. And the Field Engineers Regiment and others have been given charge to move the excavators from the port to that area so that they can free up space in the port. And they do that in the night because of traffic in the daytime. So in the night, they have the payloaders moving the excavators out of the port to the designated areas where they are supposed to be held. And before any of those excavators is released, they must be tracked, they must have a tracker on them, they must be registered by the owner of the excavator, and we must know the purpose for which the excavator has been imported. Because the construction industry also imports excavators, and so you cannot put a blanket ban on importation of excavators just because you think that every excavator is going to go into the illegal mining industry. Even the big mining companies that have licenses import excavators. And so we want to know who is importing the excavators, who it is going to. We want to be able to put a tracker on it and be able to trace that excavator wherever it is in the country.
So folks, all I'm saying is that I know that when we talk on this program, we are not joking, man. We're not joking. Some of the things that I've said and said and said he has repeated. You know, one thing was how I think somebody asked him a question about the creative arts and something, but it went into tourism. And it says Ghana had tourism potential, but what was sabotaging Ghana in our tourism potential is our service. Then he touched on customer service.
One of the things that affects tourism in Ghana and West Africa is that our service is poor. You go to a restaurant and they think that they are doing you a favor. You go to eat and they think that you owe them, to serve you. If you go to other parts of the world, it's completely different. You are compelled to spend your money because they are all over you. Even before you finish the drink that they have given you, you are halfway. Can I bring you another drink? And if you are the shy type and things, you always say, oh, yes, yes. And you forget that you have to pay for it. And so we must improve our service delivery. Owners of services must take professionals who know how to be courteous to customers, to know that we are in this job because you've come here to eat or you've come here to do this. And so that's one of the drawbacks of our whole tourism experience. And most times you spend so much money, set up an establishment, instead of going for professionals, you go and haul your relatives from the village to come and serve people. They pay and they can't even get their change. You can't find the waiter who took your money. And when you even find them, he says, oh, we have no change. I mean, they have a certain sense of entitlement. And so until we reform all these, and it's an attitudinal problem, until we reform all these, and people who own these establishments make sure that service delivery is at near 100%, we would not be able to attract enough tourists into our country. We have a beautiful country. People come and, they just say, look, this country is good. But if you hear a lot of the feedback and you say, oh, but what is negative about it? Oh, your service is not the best. Always, that's the feedback that comes.
Folks, do you know how many times I've talked about this? That when you go to the customer in Ghana, customer service means that you, the customer, you give service. You go to the hotel, you are the customer, you are there to give service to the hotel. So he was lamenting about our customer service and how that does not go well for our tourism and everything. Otherwise, he said tourism is a major money maker. But the problem that is spelled out is clearly one issue: the mindset of the people. The mindset. It is rubbish. The mindset, folks, these are the things that we need to change. And yes, when foreigners come to this country, the only thing they complain about is the mindset, And let me use this and go deeper into the problems that we have, I was talking to a friend of mine, he's a doctor, and I think he's a psychologist or psychiatrist, one of them, and he mentioned two things, and he basically was telling me how ingrained this cultural thing has been so ingrained in us that we grow up with a very bad mindset. We grow up thinking that everything that should happen is an entitlement. And that is what we're facing as a country. And tell me, trust me, tourism will not go anywhere until we change that mindset. I went to Kenya. The minute I boarded the taxi driver gave me his call card. So my brother, welcome from Ghana. Eh? This is my card. Call me, I'll come, I'll take you to places. We have this thing parked here. We have this thing here. He started selling the country to me. Taxi driver, call card. Picked me up now, started selling the country to me, and said, call me if you need me the next day. Wait for me to take you to places. Of course, I called him. And he showed me Kenya. But the attitude, the passion, and everything with which he was showing me around, I was thinking, I said, wow, this is something we can use in Ghana. It's almost like growing up, he had been trained as part of his culture to understand how to serve. Of course, it's not just serving, he's serving and making money. Because when I gave me a card, I said, if you want to go anywhere, call me. It wasn't like, call me, I'll drive you for free. You pay. But that is what we're talking about, man. People understand the value of the tourist centers that they have. And even taxi drivers who are lifting you up, whether it's a taxi or a boat or whatever it is, they right away get you start thinking that you're welcome to Kenya and there's so many things you can do here. That is how you build your tourism. Not the way we do in Ghana. I don't even know if Ghanaian drivers will even go to the extent of say we crack hard crowd because they are professor. You know what I'm saying? So folks, this mindset thing, and I'm glad that JM was talking about it and saying it was causing big trouble in tourism. But trust me, it's not just tourism. This mindset thing is causing a big problem in every aspect of our lives. It happens in the hospitals. You know, there are very, very, very few nurses that you meet in the hospital who greet you with a smile, who pay you the courtesy of a patient who is sick and needs attention. Even some of the doctors do not even understand the value of customer service. I'm the doctor. I'm going to be saving your life, whatever. Listen to me. Don't you dare. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I'm just saying that this thing runs in every aspect of our lives. I don't know whether it's cultural or traditional or what, but it is bad. So we have very, 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 very bad customer service because as individuals, ourselves, we do not understand of the need to respect everyone and treat them like they were somebody. You know, I've invited you many times to Cactus Creek, and I warned the staff there. I said, listen, they have come here to be pampered. They have come here to be worshipped. Treat them, because you're treating them. They are the ones spending the money for which you will be paid with. So don't disrespect anybody. This is, folks, I'm talking about just generally. So this resetting thing is not a joke. It's not a joke. You know, I was talking to the friend of mine and he tells me that in psychology, well, in driving, there's something called the blind spot. Do you know the blind spot? Sometimes when you're driving, there's a car on your right-hand side, and depending on where the car is, sometimes you don't see the car in the mirror. It means the car is driving in your blind spot. You don't see the car. When you turn to the right, you may crash the car because there's a car coming there, but it's in your blind spot. And this doctor was telling me about 2 blind spots. He says they have a blind spot in the US of A. He says America, the blind spot they have is about guns. He said the people carry guns and that is the blind spot. Recently somebody has been shot, I think is one of the spokespersons for the Republicans. He was talking and a bam, he has been shot. They are still looking for it. How many times do you hear that some gun people have gun? One student has entered the school and shot his own friends and killed them. Guns, guns, guns. The funny thing is this: America do not see guns as a threat. It's in their blind spot. They don't see guns as a threat. And some of them will say, look, guns don't kill, it's people who kill. And they'll tell you, okay, if somebody has died with a gunshot, and you say it's the gun that killed him, then put the gun on trial and let the person go. That is their logical. If you say it was the guns that was a problem, then why don't you put the gun on trial and let the person who shot the gun go? That is the flimsiest, craziest, most childlike thing I've ever heard. Of course, the gun, if you put it in the hands of a person, he's the one that decides, this person I don't like, this one I'll shoot, this one da 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 da. So it's not that the people are killing, but the guns are innocent. The guns equip people with the power to kill. But it's part of the American blind spot. Those of you who listen from the US of A, tell me I'm lying. We have the National Rifle Association. Everything, all laws to protect guns. People must carry their guns. It's their blind spots. So as sad as it is, and as many as Americans are being shot by guns, they still don't see gun as a problem. And my friend of mine, his name is Dr. Olson, you may have heard of him. He said, the blind spot in Ghana, do you know a blind spot in this country? Corruption. We don't even see corruption. Why? It is a part of us. It's deeply ingrained in us. So we don't see corruption. We have every kind of name for corruption, but nobody really. Have you heard this term before? Leakages. When people are stealing money left, right, they say, hey, Charlie, system, leakages, womb. What leakages? I confront the womb. The system is full of thieves and gangsters who have realized how to do the system. And then we put it nicely, we have to resolve the leakages. Stop thinking about solving the leakages. Just arrest the people and try them and punish them. They are not leakages, it's corruption. And that's what is, what is killing Ghana is that corruption is in our blind spot. So we don't treat anything corrupt as something that's a crime. Haven't you heard which in English means anybody should benefit from the work they do. So if you are working somewhere in customs and somebody has to clear some goods, you have to ask for bribe, and they give you the bribe to help them clear. But they don't see it as bribe. It's just some transaction. Now, So folks, I'm not going to dwell on this. All I'm saying is this, that Mr. President, the journey to reset is massive. It's massive. Because the nation has been built on corruption. And the corruption is in our blind spot. So nobody thinks of it as a problem. Stand here. When the policeman stops you, do you even hustle? Jay, now call. It is part of life. It is acceptable. Not only part of life, it is an acceptable part of life. So how do we deal with this? Until we get to the point where we make corruption or the thievery unattractive by serious punishment. Otherwise it won't go that. It will be with us from now until kingdom come. And that's the mind of Ghanaians, everybody should benefit from what they do. Even a simple thing that somebody can do for you, they want money. Now when I travel and I get to the airport and all these young guys coming to help me with my luggage, I don't want anybody to touch it because I don't have small change on me to give them. They are not coming to you because, Charlie, you have traveled, you are tired, let me help you with the luggage. No, they want money. Everything is money. I mean, how dare you, somebody helps you, now you just assume that, they are just helping you out of their love and the care they have for you. Never. I remember one embarrassing thing that happened to me in the UK long ago. Back in the day when we used the DVDs. Remember DVD? That time I couldn't get any movies online. So I go to DVD. And I was looking for this series, though some of you may know it, this old series, Columbo, police detective series, on DVD. So I went to this shop in the UK, and the person was looking, and he says, I know I have this. He went up, he came back, he couldn't find it. He searched and searched and searched, he couldn't find this DVD. They'll come back to the computer and type it in again, and then say, no, I know we have about 3 more copies. Just wait, Charlie. This guy went up and down, took him about close to 20 minutes. Then I saw him coming down the stairs, and he had this big smile, and he says, we have made it. We. Meanwhile, he was looking for it by himself. But I was so much happy to finally get my copies, you know. So when I said, we have it, I was so excited. And let me tell you the most embarrassing thing that happened to me. After I brought me the DVD and I paid, then I took out, I don't know whether it's £5 or something, you know, medication, so I want me. Like, here, thank you. This guy was shocked. Not just shocked, though. He was disgusted. He said, what are you doing? And I said, oh, for all your help. I said, my God, I was doing my job. Please keep it, I was doing my job. She said, on TV that, it was so foreign and alien to him that somebody who has been paid to work does the work and you're going to pay him for doing the work? And I say, Aja, I'm from Ghana. In Ghana, such effort when they're going up and down looking for something like this, then get ready. Because it's coming with a bill. And you're free. Even when I go to the place where I have my fufu, living room, mama living room, please, on fufu at the park Thursdays, they have a special on Thursdays. I go and chop. Even when they are directing me, I'm through. Because directing you to go and park your car comes with a little bill. They won't say it too. But when you get down, you know, that is us. Everything is about money. And it goes from somebody who is just born to the wealthiest man. It's all about money. Folks, let me come back to it on track. I'm just talking about the resetting should affect all of this. You need people who, when you say do some work and it's their duty to do it, they do the work and they do it phenomenally with love. And the pride that they have is that the work that you gave them has been completed and done well. That's their joy. But we have gotten to the point where, now how much is going to pay me? You want me to come? We can't live like that, but that is Ghana. So, Jem, Your Excellency, this mindset thing is not a joke. It is not a joke. My scare is that there are people who are working with you in your government, you have appointees and whatever you have, who do not have that mindset. They themselves need resetting. Can you imagine? They themselves need resetting. But now they are working for you and telling you that actually we are going to reset Ghana. Somebody who needs to reset even himself or herself. You know? And if you don't keep your eyes on the ball, they are the ones that will destroy the agenda. I always say this, that when you're looking for unity, or when you're looking for people you want to bring people together, you should be united by commitment to a goal. That's it all. So it's very, very possible that you have all these NDC people who are following you because you are an NDC president, the president, the leader, then. But they are not committed to your goal. Even exaggerate, it's possible that you meet an NPP person who has nation so much at heart that his commitment to nation building is probably even stronger than the people who have surrounded you. Look for commitment. Who is committed to nation building? Who can help me build a nation? What track record do they have? Those are the people that will help you. Because if you just go by thinking, you have started resetting, and that's what you have said, so all the people in your camp are also looking for resetting, you're lying. They'll disappoint you. They'll disappoint you. The idea of resetting is generally me to have to create my own little world somewhere. How can this be a slogan? Is it a slogan, whatever, expression? Everybody benefits from the job they're supposed to do. What benefit? Means by the side, the kickbacks and the whatever, that's the benefit. Folks, I've done enough for today. So I'm wrapping up now, but I'm saying tune into this talk shop if you want your mind to be reset. I always say the politicians and then. Today I'm giving them a break and I'm talking to you and I. The amount of resetting that we need to go through, the amount of mindset change that we need to go through, and easy. But as the time goes on, the best we can do is help people understand that we cannot go by the status quo anymore. It has ended. We have to change. This is what we call adapt or die. If you're not ready to adapt to a new mindset, then get ready to die. Not die in death, but die in terms of ideas and in terms of being a very vital part of the human assembly. Okay, folks. So let's just wrap it up for now and catch you later.